Massive news this week as Denis Zakaria could be available to pick up on a free transfer. Let's get right into it. Welcome to Talking Bayern, the one-stop shop for Bayern Munich content on YouTube. Today we'll be discussing Denis Zakaria and a possible transfer to Bayern Munich. So just some background on this player. He is a right-footed defensive midfielder who just became 25 years old. He's a great player with incredible defensive abilities and strong pace that gives the opposing team problems on the attack. He's also very tall at 1.91 meters, so almost 2 meters tall, one of the tallest players in the Bundesliga. And of course, he is a Swiss product. He came from Servette Academy before playing for Young Boys, and finally he has been at Gladbach since 2017. So we heard about this news on Tuesday when Fabrizio Romano, as I'm sure you all know, he's a very, very credible journalist and reporter, and he reported on Tuesday that Bayern have joined the race for Denis Zakaria, who will be a free agent in the summer. Obviously, Zakaria has recently changed his agent, which changed things up a bit, and maybe he's going to push for some more money. Maybe he's going to be a bit more greedy. We'll see what happens, but among those interested are Liverpool, Barcelona, and Juventus. So there's obviously a very open race, but apparently Bayern are interested and have joined the race for the Swiss midfielder. So how much would he cost? Well, this is a bit of an exception here because he was valued at almost 50 million euros back in 2019, but has depreciated in the last couple of years. He's now only valued at 26.5 million euros. However, his contract expires at the end of the year, so clubs could potentially swoop in and pick him up on a free in January. Otherwise, we would have to pay somewhere between 20 to 30 million euros based on my estimations for a player of this quality. So this is a great opportunity we have right here. So where would he play for Bayern? Well, he definitely play a CDM/center mid role. He's versatile, so he could also play center back for us if needed. I also saw back in his game logs he played as a right wing for one game for Servette back in like 2015 or something like that. Obviously, he would never play right wing. We just thought it was funny to throw in there. An important question to ask ourselves is he better than what we already have? Well, he could be about the same defensively as Goretzka and Kimmich, but certainly not on the same level in terms of shooting, passing, and consistency as our standard midfield duo. However, I think he would be a great backup and could provide excellent coverage. Obviously, he is really pacey, he's really tall, he's physical, he's obviously a great defender. I think he'd be a great backup, and I think he'd provide excellent coverage for either Goretzka or Kimmich. And honestly, in a world with COVID, it's always a good idea to have a backup player. Obviously, if you lose Tolisso especially, it's good to have somebody you can just swap in and out just because of how often players are injured or missing time due to COVID. So just some stats on Denis Zakaria. In 12 appearances for Gladbach this season, he has 2 goals and 1 assist. I know this doesn't sound like a lot, but this is one of his best offensive seasons yet. Obviously, he is a CDM, central defensive mid, so he doesn't get much offensive opportunities, but I think he's been in 17% of goals for Gladbach this season, which is really good as a CDM. He has 11 goals and 8 assists and 141 appearances for Gladbach. However, he is a defensive player above all, and his defensive actions are the most important metric to analyze. So Gladbach has really struggled this season, and they've allowed 24 goals, so it by no means is Zakaria's best season. Obviously, they're not all his fault. But definitely it's been a bit of an offseason for Zakaria and a bit of an offseason for Gladbach altogether. He probably just wants to get out of there and forget his time in Gladbach, but still, I think he can be a very good player still. And obviously he has 40 appearances for Switzerland, so he's obviously an internationally regarded player with 3 goals for them. So some reasons why I like this transfer. Obviously, he has the potential to really shine at Bayern. I think that under Nagelsmann, he could really help solidify our defense and really help out our back line, especially with Davies playing more of an offensive role. We could use a bit of a more additional support that Zakaria could provide. As I said, Davies really likes to be playing more offensively. We kind of have like a dynamic 3-back right now, and Davies is more of a winger at times, and Sane drifts more to the mid, kind of in Muller's role sometimes. And I think Zakaria, coming as like a center mid, could really drop down and kind of cover in that spot. And maybe, Hernandez pushes more to the left. I think that is a really good setup. I think Nagelsmann could use Zakaria very uniquely here and have that kind of I think Zakaria would just really mesh well with our team. I think you only really find out how it's going to mesh until you get him. But I think there's real potential here. As I said, in that kind of tactical way, he could provide very, very good defensive actions. And obviously, he's still young. As I said earlier, he only just turned 25 in late November and could still improve at Bayern. Another important question to ask ourselves is, would Zakaria actually want to join Bayern? And well, it's hard to say. Obviously, he's played in the Bundesliga for, I think, 4 years now. So, maybe he wants fresh scenery, but players have been disappointed with their time playing in midfield after arriving in Munich, such as Sabitzer. Obviously, Sabitzer's been complaining about the time he's been playing. So it's hard to say whether he would be okay with that or not. Obviously, with a midfield of Kimmich, Goretzka, and Muller, it's going to be hard to find time. And obviously, Zakaria would be mainly fighting with Kimmich and Goretzka for play time. So those are two people that are really hard to compete for minutes with. So he might want more play time. And obviously there are other top clubs that are interested with him and probably would be playing him more than we would. So there's obviously some top clubs interested amongst the major leagues. So Zakaria has quite the freedom in that regard. And can probably choose the spot he wants, honestly, and get paid a handsome salary as well, because he'd be leaving on free. As I said before, there is a real need for a player like this on many top clubs as well, so there is no lack of interest. It's going to be stiff competition to get him, honestly. In summary, I think this would be a great transfer for Bayern, especially on a free. I think Zakaria would be a massive signing. I was fine with paying for him last year, probably 20 to 30 million euros. So taking him for free would be incredibly ideal. Obviously, this also removes all the pain away from potentially losing Tolisso on a free. Obviously, if we replace him with Zakaria, who's probably better than Tolisso anyways, there's really, no hard feelings there. It's not like we're going to be sad. Like, obviously, losing Alba on a free was tough. But at least if we lose Tolisso on a free, we could potentially get Zakaria on a free and kind of erase that loss there and probably, honestly, come out on top of that. But still, I think Zakaria would be a very excellent transfer. I'll be sure to post other updates if, it becomes more likely or if we're not interested anymore. I hope you did enjoy this video. Hope you found it insightful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and a comment. And if you want to see more Bayern Munich content like this in the future, please subscribe to this channel. I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, Mia Samia.